Hi guys, welcome to the channel, Practical Reefer. My name's Mark. Now, going to do a little update on the tank tonight. Bit like what I've done it myself. I've been trapped in the house for the last week or so due to having the disease that everyone's been trying to avoid for the last 2 years, and I was just kind of feeling a bit rough one day, a bit grubby, and just felt like a clean shave would make me feel a little bit better. It happens about once every 2 years, and then it soon reminds me that I'm not a fan of not having even just a trimmed beard. So that'll be grown back soon, thank God. So on the tank, it was kind of my first sort of step back into marine for a long time. In the scape, I'm quite happy with a lot of the parts of it, but there is a lot of scape. There's about 15 kilos of rock, give or take a kilo. So there's a lot of live rock in there, so doesn't help with my nitrates being really low that I've got loads of live rock to obviously process it. So I'm hoping that'll help bring my nitrates up just a little bit as well. So I'm probably going to remove this big chunk at the front here. I'll show you that in a bit closer in a minute. It'll allow me to move my GSP arch over a little bit, bring out the Xenia arch, and it'll also give me a little bit of open sand bed, and it'll just help give me that depth, and it'll look better as well. And it'll just give me a bit more placement of corals. Also on the back pieces of scape, there's some little ledges at the bottom that are sort of got overhangs, which would be great for things like mushrooms or maybe rock flower nems or just other low light corals that or something I maybe want to acclimate that I can stick there, and I'll actually be able to see it now, whereas the tank just kind of feels a bit rammed full, and I'm just wanting to try and get it to a nicer looking place. So that's the plan. Also going to get rid of the frag rack finally. That's been going on for ages. Going to get that into the little frag tank, and maybe temporarily I might pop some stuff on the open bit of sand bed at the bottom if I don't have anywhere to put it, but it's not going to be on the side bit of the glass, which makes it a struggle to clean this whole pane of glass and vacuum up that one side and stuff like that. So I do take it out and clean, but obviously it just makes it more difficult and it just makes it less enjoyable. So going to do that. Hopefully that'll help a bit with nitrates, and as in allow them to rise up a little bit, and just helps my corals look better and give me more places to put things, and just makes the scape look a bit better. I think as a first tank it was a good go, but I was maybe a bit too keen to try and get too much into it. There is something said for some space, and some of these, like these two arches, have only got like an inch between them at one point, and the same with this arch and the piece in the background, and there's barely an inch between this GSP arch and the big bit of rock that's about to come out. So everything just feels quite tightly packed in. So I'm going to take that out and I'll let you see the result in a few minutes. So guys, just a quick overview of the tank as well. As I say, I've not been particularly well, and this is I'm now going to do this as part of my maintenance as well. So the tank's pretty much looking at the worst it'll be during the week. I've maybe just cleaned the front glass just to make it a bit easier to see in, but like the sand bed and stuff hasn't been touched for a good week, and bits and pieces like that. So there's a couple little diatoms on there. Green hair algae on that one's picked up a bit, whereas the urchins have kept it under control on that one, apart from a couple of small patches. Same in there, the Xenia's taken over there now, so that it's kind of beating the green hair algae. Same with the GSP, it's doing its job, although I'm going to take the sort of the block that it came on off at some point, just so it looks a bit better. So yeah, going to give this a good clean, get rid of the frag rack, remove this big piece of scape. As I was saying a minute ago, there's a lot of the bits of scape just got very small gaps in between them. It's all kind of rammed together, and under the urchin there you'll see there's places where I could put some like mushrooms and things, and little ledges behind where that Xenia is. There's a nice little ledge where I could put some mushrooms and they could grow on the rockscape and stuff, but I've just kind of crammed everything in. I should have probably turned these off a second ago. Might get a bit of a top down once the water level goes, or sorry, as you can see there. So let me just switch the lights down. Put the whites on just a little bit. So as you can see there, we've got the GSP arch, and then the other one is there as well. So there's not much of a gap between them, and then there's not much of a gap between the main pieces of structure, and everything's just very close. There's a bit of a gap here, but there's not much going on, and it's kind of the one bit of the sand bed that's got a bit of space, but I can't really see it from the front. And then the same here, this rock's, everything's quite close up to the glass, although there is enough room and then the same here. I mean, I've got the usual gap at the back, but yeah, I think I'm just going to make it look a bit better, and we'll see what it looks like after. So guys, this is the next day, and late in the afternoon here. So this is now the view from my desk. The tank looks so much better. Obviously I've given it a good clean, so the sand bed looks immaculate. A lot of the rockworks had a little touch up where it's we're still at those little bits of green hair algae, but we're getting a lot better. So this is my view now. I did say I would remove the frag rack, but I tried to involve the dog in being upstairs and spending time with me while I was doing it, because it was going to take a couple of hours, and she was fairly well behaved, but she just slowed the whole thing down. So later on, I was at it for quite a while, and then I had to kind of pop her downstairs to finish off. So I didn't get the frag tank done last night, so the frag rack I've popped back in just temporarily. But this is the view now. So this is the tank. This little archway is going to get moved just slightly. It is a little bit close to the rock at the back, but we'll come out and see. Excuse my flooring. So that's it there. We've got a much better depth to the scape. There's a bit of clear sand bed at the front. I've actually swapped around the GSP and the Xenia arch, and the big bit of rock that was here before is now gone. There was a piece of rock that was kind of bridging the gap between the bit here and the back there, which I've kind of popped on the sand bed. You can actually see the reflection better there, just to keep it in the tank. It might just get removed later, but I thought I can put some corals on it later on. I've now got my 3 acans or Micromucil ortoensis together, and my acan echinata under one archway, not stinging anything. And if it does catch the GSP, then it's not really an issue because there's loads of it. Yeah, and I found absolutely loads. There's 2 little Kenya trees there, which came off of the big one at the back, and you can't actually see them, but where the Kenya tree is on that piece of rock, there's 2 or 3 on the right hand side. There's another little, excuse me Molly, there's another little frag there on the piece of rock, and there's another piece down below. So there's lots of them. And also last night I took off, well, that's not going to film very well at all, I took off 8 little nubs of Kenya tree that were floating about the tank or sticking onto other bits and pieces. So each of those tiles has 4 little frags of Kenya tree on it, and I actually threw a couple away, which I kind of crushed while I was cleaning the tank. My Euphilia have been popped back up. Hopefully the torch isn't going to annoy the frog spawn, but that's there just now. So looking a bit better. The clove polyps will get moved at some point, but I just popped on there. So looking forward to the GSP covering that arch fully. It's getting there now. It's spreading quite nicely, and the Xenia is doing what I'm wanting it to do, and it's not floating about the tank and getting into places I don't want it to be. It is sticking to its arch. The Goniopora, a little bit upset from last night. I think I did have a massive water change. It was about 20 plus litres, so it was about, I think it was about 20 or about a third, about 30%, but it was just so I could get in and give everything a good clean. So next thing will be to get rid of the frag rack, which will go, the frags will either get placed onto the rockwork or they'll be into that little frag tank, which that's going to get cleaned tonight, get a good scrub. It does look a bit covered in algae, but that's just because it's just a frag tank. It doesn't need to be pretty, and it's a bit difficult to get into some of the side bits here because the frag racks come up against the glass and things. But it's not, the tank itself isn't dirty, it's just sometimes the glass is difficult to clean. But it's not a visual tank, it's not an aesthetic tank anyway, so not too worried about that. But yeah, much happy with that, and I gave that end glass a good clean, which has been a long time coming. But hope you enjoyed the video, guys. It was just a quick one, just an update on what I've done with Escape and how I've improved it and made it a bit more, gave it a bit more space. But and that's my coat coral there as well. I forgot about that. It's been tucked away at the back, so it's just on a frag plug which I've popped into the sand. So that's doing quite well, but really happy with that. And hopefully over the next couple of months, now that the green hair algae's gone, the tank will start to flourish a bit more. I'll have a nice flowing rock of GSP, a nice flowing rock of Xenia. I should have my zoas on the back, and I'll be really happy with that. But thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you all next time.